Brady, your former team, the Denver Broncos, apparently there's been a battle going on in the courts for quite some time about ownership, but ultimately this team, are they currently up for sale, or are they going to be up for sale for who knows what the hell that's going to cost somebody to purchase the Denver Broncos, one of the better and more successful franchises in the NFL?
Yeah, there's a court ruling that basically paved the path for the Broncos to be up for sale shortly. And the gist of the ruling was the team will not be passed down to any of the siblings or the children of Pat Bowlen, and that it also couldn't be blocked by a former owner who, I believe, when Pat Bowlen had taken over the team at that point, it couldn't be blocked in any such way of happening. And so this just allows the sale to it expedites the entire process of the potential sale of the franchise. And it sounds like there's already something in the works, because they basically said, as far as when their head coaching search, that's part of it. But they talked about, too, making an announcement about ownership. Like maybe this has been in the works for a while. I don't know if that could create a legal issue, but there was a recent judge ruling that will help this process now. I think there's going to be two names to keep an eye on. This is a obviously storied franchise. They've had a ton of success, not as much of late, but I think people realize it is a good roster. It's a great place to live. It's a great fan base there in Denver. And so there's two names to keep an eye on. Jeff Bezos, because I think outside of building his phallic rockets that he likes to send up into space and get people to ride on with
the
them.
old crank shuttle.
Ew.
Yeah. I mean, eventually that gets boring, right? Going to the space in the old crank shuttle.
Ew.
Eventually you want to own a sports franchise.
Can we copyright crank shuttle, please, before it gets stolen? Crank shuttle. Get on that, somebody. Can we copyright that?
Ew.
And then the other one is the Mannings. I think you could find an ownership group with Peyton, Eli, and Archie.
Oh, no.
Who end up trying to get a majority stake and make a bid for the Denver Broncos.
What about Cooper?
Yeah, Cooper's in there too.
Okay. I mean,
I don't know how much he's bringing to the table.
Cooper's the Caesar's favorite,
Cooper's the favorite.
He's the Caesars.
LaVar Sportsbook has Cooper Manning.
LaVar Sportsbook has said Cooper. Cooper's gonna be the head of it. He's gonna be leading it.
The Bezos makes sense, because there's some people that have thought that Bezos is behind some of the criticism of Dan Snyder in Washington, because...
But why would you want to own that?
I know.
Just so you can live in D.C. and be in like a lobbying interest for your company and have a sports team?
He owns the Washington Post, right? I think Bezos owns the Washington Post.
If you were to revive that franchise, the value would skyrocket. Their potential is way higher than if you went to Denver.
You think so?
Well, think about it. At one point in time, it was the most valued franchise in America. I think it was number one in the world at one time.
See, I just wonder if there's so much stink on the Washington football team
but
it's hard to get out of that.
It is so much stink on one person. Again, the fan base and the franchise itself, which it's getting a new name on top of that. They are starving for and a lot of the old generations, the Gary Clarks and Art Monks and Andre Collins and Darryl Green and Ken Harvey, they're all still there. Charles Mann, they're all still there, and they're all very active in the community. The value of the franchise would go up tremendously if they had success. And that's just, to me, I think it's just a matter of if he let that team go, then I think all of the bad energy goes with it. And then somebody
only.
I think that somebody coming in, understanding what the franchise just went through, if they came in and did something positive, I think that is a tremendous, that would be a tremendous value grab. Tremendous value grab.
I mean, it does feel like look, Peyton Manning could have had any TV job. I mean, he does the Manning cast, but that show sucks. But
no,
I mean,
doesn't.
It's a brutal show.
I love it.
Who wants to watch Eli Manning in a pair of Wrangler jeans?
Me.
Do the Dak Prescott hip thrust in front of a golf simulator.
Me watching them eat food. It's funny.
Yeah,
it's just funny.
Watching them eat food.
Yeah, the way it's
is.
funny is funny to me.
Yeah, it's
You
like
just want to watch them eat food.
Yeah, just Peyton.
it's like the
Just Peyton.
it's like the southern. It's like the southern version of Beavis and Butthead. Basically, is what it is. It is. I mean, come on. Let's call it what it is.
It's a little bit more sophisticated than that.
But so it is curious why Peyton hasn't landed a legitimate TV gig or something like that, and he's always been.
It's not that he hasn't wanted to.
I know. Well, I wonder if this was the long play. That he looked at this as the ultimate goal to be in a front office role, or maybe
he was there. He knew what was going to happen.
So
I'm telling you, they've been putting together the groundwork and an ownership group or a group to buy a majority stake in a sports franchise. I promise you, this has been going on behind the scenes for years. He's the type of guy, and much similar to why he doesn't, why he basically does the Manning cast on his own terms, is he doesn't want to work for someone. He wants to be his own boss. And so in order to do that, he wants to be the man to be an owner and the majority owner of an NFL team so he can run that team the way he sees fit.
And they'll probably win.
Yeah.
They'll probably
by the way,
win.
there's no doubt I think he'll have success and win. I mean, the reality is, John Elway helped bring Peyton Manning there to win. John Elway, you say what you want about what's happened after Manning left. He's brought them a lot of Super Bowls, either as a player or at least going to two as an executive and winning one with bringing in Manning and enticing him to go there. And by the way, he might not be done. But could you imagine, by the way, and let's just say this whole scenario plays out, if Peyton has an inside track on this and he's able to become, or the Manning family can become that majority owner in the Broncos, and then you've got this offseason where you could go get and make a pitch to Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, man. That'd be pretty tough to turn down.
And what do we think the cost is, like the asking price or the sale price going to be? Because I mean,
it's at least $4 billion.
Yeah, right off the top, it's going to be $4 billion
at least.
And I just wonder if because you hear about these teams that are rarely going up for sale, and then there's an offer for this team to go up with all the tradition they've got. I mean, we're talking a significant amount of money, and I just wonder if this is only gonna, if somebody looks at this and says, with the TV contracts the way that they are, we know we're gonna take it up front and we're gonna lose whatever we're gonna lose, but if we can land an Aaron Rodgers and just start running with this, a guy who's probably got 3-4 years left in his career, if they're
more,
I mean.
Yeah.
Man, to own an NFL team, that's the goal.
To LaVar's point, you'd want to buy it before Aaron Rodgers would get there.
100%.
If Rodgers comes, then the value goes up exponentially. No different than when the Cavs, had LeBron, then lost LeBron, then he came back. You look at the valuations of that franchise when Dan Gilbert, was there or owns it with LeBron. It was way more valuable when LeBron was playing for the Cavs because of what it could generate. Once he left, now the value goes way down.
I had a buddy tell me one time, he's really successful in a couple different businesses, and I just was talking about it. What's your ultimate goal? And, he's a sports fan. He said, would love to own a team. So that's the ultimate goal because of there's no live events anymore, really, except for sports. It's really the only live thing. Everything else you can watch, you can stream it, you can watch it, you can binge watch it, whatever. He says the TV and the live effect to it is never going to go away. When a game's on, you got to know what's going on. You can't, most people don't go, I'll just binge watch it later. No, you want to know what's happening because you don't want to be behind the news. And so when you see that this is continuing to be the only show in town from that aspect, I just think the prices on all this stuff is going to continue to go up. I think $4 billion now. I mean, what are we talking about? The next team that goes up for sale could be $6-7 billion based on where we're at. I mean, this is, if you can get in on that and you're the Mannings, why not, man?
I think the hard thing is to your point. Not only is it probably, I could see it selling for more than that, especially if there becomes a bidding war. And that's where I wonder if they've been laying the groundwork enough where the Bullen family feels like, hey, we'd rather sell to Payton at $4 or $5 billion as opposed to someone else at $6 billion. And people might be saying, well, what's the difference between, 4 or 5 to $6 billion?
Jesus.
$1 billion?
Yes. I mean, come on.
$1 billion? Like,
keep the change.
That's how much. Yeah. It's like that much more. Yeah. So you only get one shot if you're, making the sale of an NFL franchise. Once it's gone, it's gone. And so you want to make sure you sell it for top value. And that's where I think the starting bid is $4 billion.
Yeah.
I think after that, it could end up being sold for as much as 6, maybe 7.
I think it could be sold for as much as $6 or $7 billion.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think so?
Okay.
Yeah.
I
thought you were going to say 10, which I don't think is outrageous, by the way, if you said 10.
Well, it could be 10, and I don't think that would be outrageous if I said 10.
Well,
by the way, guys.
I mean, but you know what I say? You know what I say, LaVar?
What do you say?
Why 10 when you can be 11, right?
Hey,
we are, man. Hall of Famer here.
Stick City is a place, baby.
Damn right.